My name is Shantrell Jackson. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm participating in the HIV My Life, My Story, My Dreams campaign. I'm going to talk about when I was disclosed to. I'm perinatally infected, but my parents, guardians decided to disclose to me when I was 18, about a month before I graduated high school. And it was pretty devastating just because at that time in my life I only thought that you could get HIV through sex or drug use. I never even would fathom the perinatal part. So my mom told me that my biological mother was an IV drug user, and because of that she was HIV positive and I got the virus from her. And because it was so late in the game, I had a hard time adjusting to being positive, even though I took my medicines. Well, I was taking medicine from childhood, kindergarten and up. Now, when I was in middle school, I did Google, or I searched what they told me I had, which was sickle cell, and realized that I didn't have any of the symptoms. So I realized then that somebody was lying, and I would try and ask them questions about my sickle cell or this and that and the other. And I would also try and look at my chart at the doctor's office, and my dad would get really nervous and he would shut the little the chart book and ask me why I wanted to look at it. I only tried to do that once, but then I knew that something was awry. And I was 16 at the time, and that was just weird for me to be 16 and you're telling me what I can't look at something that has my name on it. That don't make sense to me. But so I knew they were lying, but I didn't know it was HIV. I stopped taking my medicines after I realized that they were lying because I was being rebellious, and now I have a lot of adherence issues. I have a few medicines that I'm adherent to, so I'm pretty much, if my medicines stop working for me, I'm going to have trouble finding a new regimen. As well as, because I stopped taking my meds, I developed kidney disease from my HIV. It was getting worse in my body throughout high school. So when I left high school, I was at 200 T cells and diagnosed with renal sclerosis. So I had to address those issues as well as adjusting to being positive, and now I'm sick and positive. So it was a depressing time, my freshman year in college. I had to leave because I was sick and stay with my parents. I have been adherent to my drugs. I do take my meds regularly for the most part. I've actually started addressing my resentment and trust issues this year because it was just not healthy to be that upset and, resentful. It's just bad energy. So I started working on that to avoid future depression. And eventually I'll have the conversation with my parents about how them disclosing to me so late made me feel, even if they're not receptive to it. Not to blame or attack them, but just to let them know that this is the impact that you had on me because you chose to lie. I think it's not even about being evasive or hiding, but actually lying to someone who's an adult at 18 is a little ridiculous. And that's my issue with being HIV positive, was being disclosed to so late. It is what it is. I'm HIV positive, whatever. But being lied to by people that love you and by medical professionals and social workers is hard to take. So all the adults in your life are lying to you. So I have major trust issues that I'm working on. I would suggest to people who have children living with HIV to disclose to them, especially before they enter middle school, and start to think about sex and relationships and dating and all that stuff. Because I was curious. I just was dealing with my sexuality, and that's what kept me away from being sexually active, because I wanted girls and only guys were offering it up. So that's the only reason why I wasn't having sex. It wasn't because of something my parents said or my religion. It was because I didn't want what was being offered. I wanted a girl, not a boy. So that was the only thing that kept the public safe, because I went throughout high school playing sports, being social, went to prom, I went to homecoming dances, I went on dates. I just didn't want boys. So definitely talk to your kids about STIs and HIV and how to protect themselves. As well as people who are teens, if you want to get tested and you don't know where to go, I would suggest, contacting a local agency to see if you can get tested. Even if you're not sexually active and you're just curious about what's going on in your body, do it anyways. And that's all I got.